says pee poo pee. Do whatever you gotta do.
Nope, I'm not finishing my song. No.
Hey everybody, sorry about that. On Slobs, if you use studio mode and then click off of studio mode, it doesn't go back to what your live screen is. It goes back to, immediately jumps to your preview screen, because, you know, that makes sense. That's one of the key differences between Slobs and OBS. It's kind of annoying, actually. I was like, okay, exit studio mode. Oh, let's just make the preview screen the live one now without even a transition. Just, it's there. Thanks. Anyways, what's up, everybody? How we all doing today? Good?
I'm tired.
You tired? Rena, are you doing good, Rena?
I'm good.
Did you roll in here in a good mood?
Yeah, I did.
You gonna drive this team today?
You know it.
You gonna keep us
What are
from
you
going
referring to?
off-road?
What could you possibly be referring
We
to?
could go
I don't
off-road. I
understand.
can
Do you
handle
think you
it.
can pilot this the right way?
That's not even the right one.
Damn
You
it!
bought a boat?
Damn it! I was so close. We're so close.
You should have said, are you going to be our passport to victory here?
Oh, I was so close. So close.
Yeah.
Oh, ruined
Yeah,
out
you
the
can't have
fourth
victory
pun.
unless you got that passport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we can cross the borders and get out of this city instead of being hunted by a bounty hunter.
I'm going to drive
Whoa,
us
whoa,
straight
whoa, whoa,
through
whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa. I believe he distinctly said he's not a bounty hunter.
I don't recall.
Oh, wait, you said back into the city or out of the city?
Out of the city.
Yeah, the guy in the city distinctly said, you know, I'm not here for a bounty on your head.
No.
Yeah.
I said maybe we can use that passport to get out of the city and away from the bounty
Oh, okay,
hunter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. More or less safe travels. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotta be careful going outside. There's COVID out there. So we should have named that hunter dude. His name should be COVID.
COVID killer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of making it a little too late of a terrible situation. So it's funny to joke about, but if we actually did that, it'd be a little too harsh, you know? Like I have almost a sour taste in my mouth. No, never mind. That's the beer.
See, the real question is if Scott will let me have a long rest so I can get half my hit dice back.
You know he won't.
When? So last session, you guys started off with being fucked, and then proceeded to actually not do terribly. You saved Rena last moments with brilliance. You and just like triumphant ways of kind of like diving in there and saving her or whatever. You also discovered Mathis Cuddy, granted beat to crap, literally concussed, but you grabbed him. You're able to eventually get back and rejoin yourselves with the Ophios, who unfortunately had to split off, trying to save Erwin. And honestly, Erwin didn't die. Or did he?
Oh.
They did say, as you met up with Ophios later on and heard that guy speak to you again, you did specifically hear him say, I have him.
I still have him is
still have
exactly what was
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
which is very concerning for Ophios as to why still, but that's beside the point.
And that brings us to you guys having been rescued by your advisors, if you want to call them that, your friends, your allies, contacts, and helping you to retreat back to the edge of the city. The question
If I
is,
remember right, Rena and I never got out of the house yet.
No, that's where we left off. I don't know if we know what's
Yeah,
going on.
because I had gone
currently.
from we haven't figured out what's going on. We
I think
just were gonna
Elijah
go
does.
retreat, let him have the day or whatnot.
Yeah. So because more or less I took to what's the word I'm looking for here? Story like we flipped to like story mode from like active mode or whatever it is, and more or less described it as he kind of had to step outside and handle the situation, and you guys were able to rejoin with your advisors and whatnot. So you guys you don't have to worry about necessarily being in the house. You actually are able to get out of the house. Rena's holding your stuff. You went out in snake form, whatever it is. You guys
No,
were
I
able to
had
actively-
changed back into my normal form.
or whatever it might be, right? You guys did in fact retreat and are able to fall back. Now, you didn't necessarily leave the city. You went back to that entry point. If you remember, I described the entry point. The gates were kind of open, so on and so forth. Everything was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Deserted over in that area. You guys were able to fall back to that point where you literally could yeet out the doorway if you wanted to and try to go all the way back to Momly. Or you could try to hunker down and stay here and figure things out. I know there's kind of a conversation that happened beforehand. And before, Tyler, I throw it to you. I do want to say when you guys get to that fallback point, your little mage here, Elliot's. Nope. Damn it.
Elijah.
No,
wow.
Michael Jordan Jackson III.
Elijah was able to fall back with you, kind of putting you all together, allowing you to, in theory, be in one spot so you can converse if you wanted to. Tyler, it's your turn, sorry.
I just had a quick question because originally I think at the end of the episode you gave us like 3 options. Try and hide in the city again.
Mm-hmm.
Fall back to camp that is outside the city, or fall all the way back to Momly were like the 3 things I think you had actually said.
Third option, there you go.
Because obviously for the forces, they would have made camp outside or something. I don't remember exactly how you described it, but that's what I remember.
Oh, you're good. So what's the decision as your characters come together and try to decide what you're going to do?
I mean, Ovios and Rena kind of had the conversation they needed to have. I think, Messy, if you want to take the lead on this.
Well, I remember the tail end of last session, we saw Rena's duplicate and everyone was there. They drove off the other forces, but then Elijah realized that something was up because he casted a spell on Rena to make her invisible, and this Rena obviously wasn't invisible.
Am I still invisible?
No, that's my other question is
Okay.
I would have thought we would have had to do something.
Yeah,
in order
fight
to
your way
prevent-
out and so on and so forth, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fight our
So-
way out, or even on top of that, the trying to not have Rena and Rena seen next to each other.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that went well, and we did not see Rena and Rena next to each other.
As soon as What's-Her-Name would have seen that, she'd have changed her guise. She's smart.
Okay.
And would have done
Ophelia.
so without people knowing.
Yeah, Ophelia's smart.
Okay.
And then how is Mathis Cuddy? How did he get?
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys want to do with him?
He's
Yeah,
concussed.
that you had him. You had him.
Yeah, I had him stowed away in a house.
We just want to get him to somebody who can help heal him.
Yeah, that's why
Really.
I
If
I
we've
don't.
got someone who's here, I don't know.
That's kind of why I feel like we need to step back and not do the narrative we rejoin together because there's a lot of weird loose ends that exist. Like
No loose ends. He
Elijah
definitely-
had left him back in the house.
But the thing is, when you guys fight back the forces enough, because again, your whole group came in, he joins you. He comes with you. He's still concussed, but he's able to come back with you. You know what I mean?
Okay, so Elijah
Yeah.
went back and got him.
Mhm.
So is he with us or is it just us 3, Elijah?
I would say Elijah's with the 3 of you guys, but Mathis Cuddy, it's up to you. Messy, if you want him to be with you. He's like I keep saying, he's concussed. He's not doing okay at the moment. But there's no healers amongst you guys, so
Yeah, all he's gotten were like a couple of health potions.
yeah, that doesn't heal.
And then the spell that totally worked the wrong way.
well, we don't know how it worked. But yeah. Elijah would probably try to find someone who knew some kind of medicine that could take care of him and kind of hand him off to the troops and not so much keep him, with Rena and Ophios. He'd probably hand him off almost immediately.
Yeah, that's fine. And so he can head off, kind of like Laszlo can look after him and whatnot while he's having his moment. That's fine.
Cool.
This gives the 3 of you time for your own peace and quiet, unless you look to call in your contacts. But for now, let's say you have your own peace and quiet.
Well, I need a long rest. I don't
We
know
all
about you
do,
guys.
but
Yeah.
this is an RP time, is
Mhm.
what Scott's trying to say.
It's an 8-hour
And that's
thing.
what I'm giving it to you because you have the most interesting thing, and I want to see how your character approaches it, given the information that he essentially deduced. And Rena and I had just had a really, really long RP at the end of last session.
Yeah, I think Elijah would probably just find you guys and not mention anything, really. Which I know is really lame and boring, but I think he's more looking for the next thing that's gonna happen because it's been back to back to back for like the past day. And he's just like kind of still in that mindset and he's not trying to reflect yet. So he'd probably meet up with you guys and then just like, make sure that you guys are okay.
So are you
No.
trying to like just not say anything about it or just like keep that to yourself, kind of like you're trying to keep it from us in a way?
Well, it's not that I'm keeping it from you, it's just that I'm not mentioning it right now. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not
Yes,
talking
that's
about.
that's equivalent to keeping it
'Cause
from
I'm-
us.
Well, if you ask about it, I'll tell you. But
I would want to roll insight to see if I could tell if like maybe he noticed something. You know what I mean?
I'd be fine with that, but again, this is one of those things where you'd definitely be rolling with disadvantage because there's no reason necessarily that you would be able to pick that up, and he'd have advantage because there's no
Yeah.
reason for him to not be able to easily hide it.
Because it's more just in the back of her mind, like, okay, he obviously saw them come through. Did he happen to see Ophelia? You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we can roll as we just stated. Just for you, Tyler. For you, Mess has deception.
Deception?
Correct. With advantage.
Okay.
And I'm still so lost with that sudden jump and gap.
A what?
The quick resolve without.
Huh.
Not very good, huh?
No.
It's okay. I'm burning most of my bad ones now. Let's get them over with.
All right, so I'll do insight then.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage, yeah.
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 Okay.
You notice that he makes like a little looks or whatever it is. Nothing so super overt. Just one of those things where you can see that there's just like a look to him that shows that, you know, kind of beguiles him a little bit. He looks like he may have picked up a couple of cues or whatever. Something's a little off, but we can't say that his character, straight out, he's sitting there reading on his face. He knows everything. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So I guess Rena will walk over to Elijah and just say, oh, I'm glad you made it out of that house. We're able to meet up with us. We're building.
Yeah, when I heard the scuffle outside, I had a look for myself, and it was quite a combat, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely a good timing, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a little weird that you were commanding them. Even though we both knew that you were still invisible for a while. But you have your tricks, I have mine. It's not too off-putting.
She'll just nod.
I did make a note of it, though.
I thought you might.
That's racist. Just because I'm human, you think I take notes? Is that what it is?
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up and remember last episode.
There was a big battle, and we just kind of off-screen fought that and pushed him away, and then the guy
I'm trying
yelled.
to remember what I said. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, so Ophios,
okay.
you are with us, right?
I believe Ophios is there, yeah.
Okay. And you're
I
not-
would actually leave them two and go towards Ophelia. So it would just be them two talking right now, because that also is convenient for me to watch back that episode before.
Would my passive perception pick up that he's talking to someone I've never seen before?
You eventually would have seen them join the battlefield. Just
Right,
like there were a
but
bunch
I'm
of people.
talking-
There's a ton of people that you had never seen before that joined.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that
Yeah.
they happened to show up only after Rena did, that wouldn't necessarily stand out to you.
Yeah. Okay. Just leave that be then. Yep. So what's the deal with that guy? He says he knows you, and he seems like he's trying to win you over.
Who are you talking about?
I can't remember his name, but the guy with the lion armor.
Oh,
Cadus?
Cadus.
Referring to Cadus. I was. You might not have seen me because I wasn't visible, but I was standing there when you were talking to him for a minute.
Well, when he was talking to me.
Yeah,
Either
fair,
way,
yeah.
yes, I know him from but years ago. I haven't seen him in so long.
Seems like he really badly wants to talk to you.
It would seem so. I just don't know if he's the same. You know what I mean?
Well, if I were in your shoes, and I'm not, but if I were, I think it's most prudent to look at these kind of situations objectively. You are on opposite sides. You both want to win. You both have some things that make you stronger and some things that make you weaker. Could be a fair fight. Would be really easy for someone with a connection to you to get a little bit of a psychological advantage. Maybe they chose him specifically for that. Maybe they didn't. But if you're letting that affect you, then you're playing at a disadvantage.
I'm not.
Good. So when are we meeting?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to my people to figure it out.
Good. You worried about it?
Hmm?
Are you worried about it?
No. I am. I feel like I'm gonna have to roll for that because I am trying.
Yeah, I'm
to...
gonna roll for that too.
Yeah.
What's
Is
the
that
advantage
disadvantage?
disadvantage here, Scott?
I think it could be even across the board here, right? There's no reason to necessarily have advantage or disadvantage for either of you, right?
Okay.
I mean,
so
they don't
normal.
know each other very well.
You
Yeah.
roll deception, I roll insight. Normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it would be normal. The other one's because it was too subtle. The only reason why I applied it was because it was so subtle. God.
Oh.
Rena, you just roll consistently better than Tyler. It's so not, I mean, messy. It's so not
Yeah.
fair.
I didn't roll.
It's not fair.
I'm sorry.
He'll kind of... He won't really give you a second thought when you say that. He'll just nod his head, like, in his mind, planning out steps that we could take. Just kind of half ignoring you when you say that. He kind of already knows that's what you're going to say, and not really thinking about whether or not he believes it, but for now he's going with it. Okay. But we should plan for that soon.
Yeah, I will get on that. I guess I'll walk over towards wherever. What?
Ophios?
Nope.
Mathis Cuddy?
Nope, the other guy.
Laszlo.
Laszlo. Thank you.
Just go down the names.
My
Nope,
God.
nope, nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though it makes canonical sense for Tyler to have gotten to what's her name first, just to continue with your mentality here, I'll go to Urena and then we'll go to Tyler.
Okay.
So you go to Laszlo.
Yeah. I'll just say.
I meant
Well, I hate to
chronological.
say it, but it's good to see you.
Well, you know, he's coming for stirring some shit. I guess I'm your spoon.
Big spoon or little spoon?
He's a fucking ladle, bro.
What was that?
God?
She'll just say, I appreciate it all the same.
God would have Tyler's hair. Just saying. So
Speaking of hair, nice hair, Daelric.
listen, okay. They literally just made haircut places legal 2 days ago. No.
It looks like a wave
seconds.
is crashing against a rock and just spraying. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
that
it's-
apex moment.
Listen, I just
messy.
want him. I just want him to grow it out again and have his little ponytail.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
I don't know if it's gonna take a long time to get there because as long as and crazy as it is, it's a while away.
Yeah.
All right, Rena. Sorry. So you say, yeah, he says, "I'm your spoon." You chuckle.
I said, I appreciate it all the same.
Okay. So what's the play, boss?
Well, I don't necessarily want to give up the city. And with you here, it should help us, but I mean, they've got quite the army.
I'm sorry, you threw me off for a second. With me here, you brought me here.
With everyone here, the general you.
Oh,
I'm sorry, thought process. I'm just speaking out loud.
I was like, you seem okay. You seemed a bit off the past couple days, but you know.
I'm fine. Anyway, I wanted to talk to everybody to come up with a plan. Plan of attack.
Rena, did
So-
you forget what your talk with Ophios was?
We're pushing.
No. Possibly, but we may have another way around this. One that would cost us a lot fewer men.
So we draw him to a point, bit of a distraction, slip in from behind, between a couple of ribs.
Actually,
I love the way he thinks.
I was thinking maybe more of negotiation.
Oh, we're negotiating with Peredhel now.
It's not what you think.
Oh, tell me what I think, please.
Okay,
You gotta roll.
quick question. Cadus is obviously not the commander, but what would his title be?
Oh, motherfucking
It's
Josh.
like a general?
Josh, that can't happen because Dungeon Papa still hasn't done the conversion for us. He lied. What were you saying, Rita?
I was saying, what would Cadus's title be? He's not like a commander, but is he like a general or what?
Oh, actually, you don't know his rank.
I don't know.
Oh,
Or
no. He is wearing armor. You are kind of familiar with it. Roll me a history check. You have advantage because
Okay.
you served for a bit.
Wow.
Well, you have no clue.
I mean, he's kind of their
I'm gonna
leader.
assume he's higher up because he was commanding people, but I have no idea. Okay. I happen to know one of their higher ups from my days in the army, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah? Just happened to be friends with one of them?
Well, we
killing that
trained-
guy instead?
We trained together.
Oh, Rena,
And-
you're not getting all soft on me, are you?
No. I'm just saying
Wish-
we could use this to our advantage.
I really wish Ophios could walk up on this conversation. But I can't RP that without knowing how long my original conversation.
Mhm.
Their other chat over there was pretty quick anyways. So he's like, so what's your plan?
Well, if he's willing to meet, maybe I talk to him alone and see what I can get out of him.
You can get a lot
What?
out of him.
Suddenly I hear some strange music.
Hearing a weird sound. Did you
Don't
hear
like
that
anything
too?
I've ever heard before.
Are you coming
Rain.
on to me? No. So he's like, so is this going to be one of those just you go, no guards, just he goes, no guards, quiet meeting off in the distance away from everybody else, but we all really know that I'm coming with you and I'm bringing some guards and we're going to lay low and keep quiet, and he's probably going to be that dumb type that actually brings nobody or only a couple people and we kill them all as an ambush?
Ophios walks up, puts his hand on his shoulder. No, just me.
Aww.
He's actually quite smart. I believe that if I were to ask him to meet, I don't believe that he would go alone. He'd have some sort of backup. I just don't know what.
All right. Sounds like you don't have the plan fully put together there, Rena. Do we got to do a meeting with everybody? Is that what we're doing here?
Is Ophios here?
No, I'm
no,
still
I
talking.
imagine you want a
Okay.
meeting with everybody, anyways.
I mean, that's
Mm.
not really no, because we had kind of discussed the idea beforehand.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of figuring out what we're doing right now and
Mhm.
then putting that into place. So I understand what Rena's trying to do right now.
That's fine.
She'll say no. I just kind of need to talk the idea through. We should take some time to rest before jumping back into things, though.
So hold up. Your plan is actually going to meet with this guy, and you don't want me to come, or you do want me to come? And I agree. A little bit of rest not necessarily a bad idea. You know this guy so well. Can you wave a white flag? Can he give us the night?
If I assume that he will, is that like a fair? I don't really know how much
He
I know
did say
about
let
this
him
guy.
have the day, but
Yeah, he did say let him
didn't
have
mean
this like
anything.
this win, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they're not going to come back at night or something.
That's true. I mean, maybe I just meet with him that much sooner.
I mean, I'll tell you this. Somebody asked me for a night. Peredhel. Oh, let's keep this going in the morning. We're tired. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I killed him in the night. Would he do that?
If his aim was to get us out of the city, he would. But something tells me that's not the case here.
So you're thinking he won't let us have the night?
Worst case scenario, I don't think so.
Well, let's assume the worst case scenario then, right? Assume
Better
the
safe than
worst,
sorry.
fight your way to the best.
It's close.
All right, well, fine then. Sounds like we're going to have to do something soon. So you figure out whatever it is. I'm sure you got to go talk to Ophios and Yontis and figure out whatever you got to do. And then as soon as you know, let us give us the heads up.
How does Rena react to him saying Yontis? I want to know this.
She explodes.
Punches him in the face. Just no. She won't say anything. She'll just nod and walk off.
Cool. He goes back to what he's doing. Ovios, you walked up to Ophelia, who's kind of now hanging back with what's his name? Vance came as well.
Oh,
Vance, of course,
Vance
trying.
even came.
Because he's trying to oversee things, give guidance,
Yeah.
coax and whatnot. So she's hanging back with Vance. Not really guarded because they're just kind of like in a building and they're your fallback point. So they're kind of sitting in a building having a conversation when you come walking in. So as you walk in, she looks at, it's one of those things, as soon as you walk in, they kind of like notice you. She looks at you and will give you a little bit of a smile. It's like a friendly smile. And Vance will give you a nod. They finish up their conversation. They were clearly talking about how the transition, whether or not anybody seemed to notice if she switched from being Rena to her, and she's like, everything is fine. Don't worry. I know my task. He's like, we don't need to go screwing things up a week after we were giving a task. And she's like, you stare over the shoulder too much oversight. You need to relax. Step back. And kind of like as you step up, standing over his other shoulder.
And
not relaxed.
Yeah. Ophios is just simply going to say, well, your timing's impeccable, but what brought you here? I can't say I'm not thankful, but more so concerned.
Well, we came through because we actually had a couple of concerned citizens give us a bit of a word. Somebody came through the city recently, looking about and asking questions, and then head north. Head north, funny enough, about the same day that you guys did. Maybe they hoped to hit you on the road. Either way, I assume they didn't, because, here you are. There was a man, heavily clad in armor, a lion on his shield, lion on his cloak, asking questions about Rena.
I believe I've seen this man. And Rena has, he's spoken to her.
So he did catch you on the road?
Not on the road. In the barracks. Or just outside, I should say.
You must have moved much more quickly than he did if he didn't catch you on the road on the way north.
We had other issues. And Unfortunately, the party is now 2.
Yondus?
Yes.
Ophelia looks at you and says, reports.
Hunter. No, not what kind, but he had 2 troll hounds and was rather large.
Troll hounds. And she says, looking at Vance. Vance just kind of shakes his head. He doesn't know what they are. And she looks at you. I'm not sure what troll hounds are. I'm not familiar, but go on.
Nor I, but Yondis was. But he caught back up, and that was the end of Yondis.
They do say you should know what it is you eat before you consume it. I suppose it's also better to know what it's eating you before you're consumed.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it. Needless to say, we got into town in dire straits, and, well, haven't exactly had things go to plan. Coming in half beat up, having to fight through things half beat up. We were in a corner when you arrived, so your timing was impeccable, like I said before.
I suppose it's fortuitous that it's fortunate that that man came through, looking for Rena. She's certainly starting to grab attention of others. I don't know who he is, but he's not like the others that we'd encountered beforehand. He's clearly Peredhel military and raised no hand, no sword, not even a word, against the situation that he discovered in Momly.
That bodes well, he'd say under his breath.
If I had to guess, I would say he was counting his losses and preparing his next attack.
I have a feeling we might be able to save lives and not have to fight for this city. It's a stretch, but...
He chimes in and says, "Are you speaking of diplomacy?"
In a way.
I have to say this is unfortunate for Yondis, of course, but the best news that I've heard all day. Wow, okay. And you think that this man has a degree of position here in this city as well?
He has a position of leadership and the soldiers listen to him. That's all I know.
Very well. We can use this. Who's he has a connection to? Rena specifically?
Yes. But it's a bit complicated.
Is she going to be compromised?
No.
She kind of gives you like a look. Like, you can clearly tell she's giving you a look like, is she?
He's going to respond.
She's trying to be subtle so that he doesn't necessarily know this, but she's giving you like a
yeah.
look.
No. But they have history. It's not my place to tell, not my story to be told or to be speaking of, but I believe it can get us favor in speaking and maybe and he's going to kind of side-eye Ophelia and say we can somewhat convince him.
Well, I'm here to lend aid where I can, and this is outside of my purview. So I suppose we look to the diplomat, she says, turning her attention back over to Vance. And Vance says, if we have an opportunity, we should seize that opportunity. Granted, move forward with caution. Let's not be foolish. I was unfortunately caught in a trap myself, as I told you beforehand. I was an idiot. We shouldn't be that way moving forward.
The plan I have, and the only person I believe he'd speak with, is Rena. But for reasons, I would be backup. No one else other than be at the ready. But that's to be discussed with Rena. We were speaking when you happened to arrive about perhaps what we thought could work.
What about Laszlo? He certainly could lie low.
At the ready. but not in the room.
If
If you understand my drift.
you say so, it just seems a little having him about might not necessarily be a bad idea.
Yes, but there are reasons. A soldier like that garners some attention and some fear.
Do you think that he would allow you to pick the location of the meeting?
Again, we would have to figure that out.
I ask for a very specific reason. I know an old trick that I can do, a magical skill of mine. I can keep it rather hidden too. It's pretty easy to do so. All you'd have to do is hide a single rope. It's easy enough to do behind a pole or beam, behind a door, corner, even just behind some stuff inside a cluttered room. You just have to hide a rope there, hanging from, we'll say, the ceiling. It gives us only an hour's time, but it very well may be all we need. Have a couple of guards readily on hand that can't otherwise be detected. Granted, they won't be aware of what's going on, but a good old tug of the rope would give them a heads up, and they could jump into the fight if need be. If you're going to meet with
saying
them,
they wouldn't be able to see or hear, but the only way they'd be noticed is the rope. It's intriguing.
correct.
Again, would have to be discussed with Rena.
I'm just saying, as you discuss things with Rena, mention to her that if she's able to pick the location and we can prepare in advance by a short period of time, we might be able to have some guards on hand, some backup.
I would also be sure to mention we have met somebody else, and I don't trust. Elijah, a wizard from the wall.
A wizard? I'll see if I can get to know some things about him.
He seems to be too terrible to be a mistake.
You said he was from the wall. What wall do you speak of? He means the ice wall that borders Peredhel and Amalta. I'm not too terribly familiar. You probably wouldn't be unless you lived in that region or had some sort of interest in it. The short version, for the past decade, the boundary between the two countries has been blocked by a massive wall of ice, conjured and held by magic. Great cost to Amalta. Anyways, you say he served on the wall.
He had some sort of letter saying he was seeing whether Rena was for real or something like that. But when it came down to when we needed certain things to occur, he conveniently forgot and Rena's life was in danger. And, well, his spells have conveniently or very inconveniently and consistently missed. It's just peculiar.
Well, he either was sent here to, foil your attempts with a smile on his face, or if he served the wall, it's a very defensive position. You're doing very offensive and, well, I mean, kind of cutthroat tactics, right? Yeah, this is probably not his forte. If he is, in fact, meant to be a boon, perhaps he just needs time to find his stride. I think we all do.
Again, just seems eerily convenient, but I suppose it could be a fault of clumsiness.
We've all stumbled. Let's just keep an eye on where his feet happen to position themselves as he goes down. Anyways, if there's a means for diplomacy, I say we act upon it. Why is Rena not here? We should all convene and come to a conclusion as to how we're going to have this handled moving forward.
She was speaking with Elijah and Laszlo as I walked away, as far as I could tell.
Well, perfect. Call Laszlo and you two call Laszlo and Rena, and perhaps we should all discuss this together.
Sure. Picks up his cell phone, 8675309.
He lives in California.
Well,
Pass. By the way, that is the phone number for Gem Plumbing. So 401-867-5309 will get you a plumbing company in Rhode Island.
I thought they banned that number.
No, they didn't.
It's written on the side of all their vans, just like the song.
Every
like
every
90s.
area code, yep. Every area code has somebody has paid a lot of money to own that phone number because
I've
it's
tried
called
calling
so
it
often.
years ago. I don't remember how long ago, but I called it
Specifically
years ago. And it was
401.
like
So
what,
specifically
area code 401.
401-867-5309. Yep.
Gotcha.
But Ophios will nod and he's actually gonna pull Ophelia aside and ask Vance, perhaps you can call Rena in.
Oh,
And
here I am barking in order like I'm the one in charge here. Forgive me. And he stands up.
I just want to speak with Ophelia. And besides that, I feel like Laszlo might be more responsive to you at this current point in time.
Mm-hmm. He goes. He finds Rena, and it's one of those like,
I'm gonna roll perception to make sure Ophelia and nobody's really within earshot, but he's gonna just speak swiftly if possible. Scott?
yeah, I heard. I'm just gonna click. There's a perception. So it seems.
I was
like,
just making sure the room was clear. And
I mean, there's guards walking around outside the building, but nobody's actively like standing there listening. No, it seems like nobody's out the windows or anything like that.
so he's just gonna lean in and be like, the shot in the dark with Rena is risky, to say the least. But the plan is to make him aware of who's actually leading him and see if he starts to make sense of the matter. Because from what Rena said, he seems dedicated to the cause, but enough so that he gave her a chance. And I feel if he discovered the truth of who was actually leading Peredhel and the truth of our existence, he might understand, and that might save lives.
Hold on, Ophios. Telling them of the Lopers, I have no problem with this if you can convince somebody that the Lopers exist, but to give them away our existence?
They would merely see my face.
That is quite a thing.
Like I said, when it comes to that room, the only two that should be in there is me and Rena.
And if he happens to battle you back, if he happens to survive and carries the information.
Currently, it's the only thing that seems to make sense and could harness the potential of us getting this city and a foothold. Otherwise, it seems like efforts lost and lives lost for nothing.
To be fair, they are lives that we don't care too much about, if at all.
You are correct, but this city is of importance. And getting rid of this commander
You
is of
lost
importance.
Yondis. This affected you deeply.
He just won't respond. He'll just stand there.
Should I be concerned about you then?
I'm as level-headed as I've been in a bit.
The fact that you can't admit that you're not on point then sounds like you need to be concerned about. It's your plan. I'll make note of how things play out.
He'll just nod, and he'll walk this to the entrance, looking out, seeing if Rena and Vance and Laszlo and whoever is on their way.
I don't know, Rena. Did I catch me a big one?
What? You trying to do the move again?
No,
You don't have-
this time it's the shopping cart,
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I like that you apologized after the 10 seconds of silence of everyone watching you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, "God, I'm sorry, guys."
Well, I know I'm a terrible person, so. All
Yeah,
right.
at least you know.
I do. Trust me.
I
I'm
got
told
distracted. What's happening? Am I? You just
You're
distracted me.
coming in, remember?
Okay.
Yeah,
all
Vance.
right.
Vance went to get you.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
He
The
made his way
question is-
downtown, walking fast, faces past. He's Rena bound.
My question is, does Rena bring Elijah with?
I'm assuming Elijah's probably just following me.
If you
like,
didn't
at this
stop
point.
him, he would probably just follow. Is
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just following me.
Okay, then Elijah's following.
that a problem? Ophius?
No, it was just a simple question. It was a question of whether Rena would have you come along or what Elijah would do. It
I've
was
got a
just question.
shadow.
Because Vance doesn't know necessarily much about you other than I had mentioned that there's a wizard in there.
Hey, everybody, can we give William some attention?
I will.
I will.
Oh, you already gave him more attention than he got on Wednesday. Oh, look at that. This party really does love you more. Oh.
Flint, come back.
Not anymore.
Honestly, we gave Flint an item. Did you
chose
We were
tell him
supposed
that
to.
Flint? Did you put?
I may have
You
told
actually
him.
gave it to
I
him?
don't recall.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Poor William. He more or less just shows up to Wednesdays to sit there and not eat watermelon. It doesn't make him happy. All right, well, back to the stream. So you guys, everybody kind of comes filtering in 1, 2 at a time until everybody's inside this building together.
Oh, everyone's here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rena, I spoke with them about our plan to speak with. And he's just going to wait for you to say his name.
Cadis.
Yes.
And?
Well, Vance is all on board for diplomacy, as per usual. And he'll give you kind of the eye of like Ophelia kind of questions some stuff, but he wouldn't necessarily say it out loud. It's kind of like he pointedly said Vance is completely on board. That obviously shows the fact that Ophelia may have some questions.
Okay, she'll just nod. Well, you know where Laszlo's at with it.
I'm sure he's ready to set a trap. Looking at Laszlo's reaction.
I assume this is just us talking off to the side, right? Before talking to everyone else.
Oh, we can have it be that way.
Yeah.
While people are filtering in, you guys like.
yeah,
take
we're
a
like
yeah.
talking
quick little
really quick.
second.
I don't know if it's a good idea to have too many people around.
And that's what I said to Vance. It would just be us.
I don't know if I can trust him. At the same time, though, too many people might scare him off.
And Ophelia is worried about fine with exposing the Lopers, but showing our existence. She questions whether Yondis is affecting me.
I assume you didn't talk further about it?
No. I explained that this was the information that I was able to deduce, and it seems to be the only way to prove to him, who I already forgot the name of.
Cadis.
Cadis.
Mm-hmm.
That if I exist, perhaps I'm speaking the truth of the Lopers.
Did any of them happen to see him while the fighting was happening?
Apparently he passed through town looking for you.
Through Momly?
And that's why they came up here. They were concerned. And he was supposedly by himself and did not raise a ruckus or alarm or had no issue with the fact that Momly was no longer Peredhel, which in my opinion bodes well for our strategy here.
Maybe.
At least they say it looked like him. I can't for sure say it was him until we ask, but whether he'd lie or not, I know not.
Well, I think going with you, I assume Elijah will probably tag along. She'll like kind of look back over to wherever he is.
In fact, there's use in Elijah.
Oh, come around, have you?
No, he's going to say, it would be fitting if I were invisible until I was ready to be known. Obviously, we do not want your friend to feel threatened during your conversation.
Yeah, it may help us to get somewhere we can set up a meeting spot.
I also see him as potential neutral territory for being the person that speaks with him, but I also wonder if I should do that to arrange the meeting. I don't know exactly whether he has the ability to speak well and persuade.
Something tells me Cadus will only be convinced if he hears it from me. That I'm willing to meet.
And perhaps on the approach to make the arrangements for meeting, you have guards. And maybe that will fulfill Laszlo's desire.
That's fair enough. I think he'd expect that. What time of day is it?
Morning. It's gonna be the evening now.
Oh, speaking of which,
Making my way downtown.
Shut the fuck up.
do you think he would attack at night?
If it were me? Yeah. But I can't say in this instance. If he really is looking for me, he may not. But I just don't know.
He definitely has the upper hand. I wonder if we camp outside of town, but then I worry for the hunter. We may not get the rest we need. We may need to try and make this meeting happen tonight.
I think the sooner the better, unfortunately.
And then that Ophios will start turning towards the room.
Okay, we'll go to talk to everyone.
Welcome. So did you come up with a plan? Are we gonna do this or what?
Well, we are. And she'll look to Vance. I'm going to talk to him. We need to set up some sort of meeting with him. And to do that, it has to come from me for it to be believable. So I'm going to need Laszlo, maybe some men, to escort me to tell him so.
Are you looking specifically to arrange the meeting, or are you looking to have the meeting?
I guess both. But even if we were to just arrange the meeting, he wouldn't believe it unless it came straight from me.
Oh, I'm not going to dispute that. Of course, Rena. It should come directly from you.
I just don't think that time is on our side in this situation, so the sooner the better.
I agree. And I also think that if you're going to be doing this, you should probably get as much rest as possible. So, like you said, time is of the essence. When do you think the meeting is best to be set?
The concern is I don't believe we'd have a night's rest. He does have the upper hand in numbers. And frankly, before you guys arrived, we were very clearly on the run.
Is there a way that we can find out about this man? Any details about him? I mean,
What kind of-
honestly, I don't
You
even
want
know
to
who
go
the
and
fuck we're
search his
talking
bedroom?
about.
You want to go and search his bedroom quarters? Go right ahead. Ovio says.
Granted, you don't know where his bedroom is. But Lazo says, I honestly don't even know who the fuck we're talking about.
His name is Cadus.
Cadus.
He wears armor that bears a lion's head, and seems to be in control to some capacity here. I don't know what, but
Do you
I knew
mean-
him.
Do you mean Cadus Medahina?
Yes.
The young lion?
Yes.
Oh,
What do you know of him?
honestly, the name stands out because I've heard it before. I don't know him, never met him on the battlefield, nothing like that. But I know where he was trained.
The same place as Arena.
Uh-huh.
Ophios turns to look at Rena.
I assume not. No offense, Rena, but you don't exactly command the battlefield the way this man does.
I didn't stick with it as long as he did.
So you're telling me that you met Commander Leon Yeager?
Did I?
No.
Okay, no. She'll just say no, I did not.
Well, I don't know much about this guy aside from he was one of the students of Commander Yeager. But I know about Commander Yeager. Everybody knows about Commander Yeager.
Is he the commander of this town, or?
Not exactly. He was the commander of you got a problem and he fixes it.
Good to know.
Well, it's true that Cadus is not one to be messed with.
Yeah, if he's the one you're meeting with here, Yeager's a... God, I hate paying respects to the people I want to fucking kill. But he's retired now anyway, so I guess we don't have to keep worried too much. He's not the kind of person that walks into a trap unless it was to spring a trap on your trap. You know what I'm saying? So, if this Cadus guy is the one I'm thinking, I mean, if he's even a tenth the man, I mean, we're kind of a ragtag bunch. We can all agree on this. There's nods around the room.
Ophios just kind of smiles.
If we're gonna be laying a trap, we gotta make sure that the teeth are sharpened, the spring is oiled, and goddamn, that thing is trigger sensitive.
And that's why we're not laying a trap.
Fuck. You know, diplomacy can actually work. It can win the day. We have different reasons for taking Momly and this city and so on. There's reasons for it, and I agree with them. But it doesn't mean everybody has to die. If you can convert somebody of a degree of stature, that can have its own weight. Think about how that would impact the people. Sure, there'd be some people left behind that would think poorly of this Cadus for having converted. But think of the people that are on the fence or on our side. It would bolster them. It would embolden them to stand even further behind our cause. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think we should, in fact, take the opportunity. There would be a risk, of course, but what great reward comes without risk? I suppose maybe a back rub by your spouse as you go to bed at night, or waking up to breakfast in the morning, but beyond something as simple as that.
It does seem worth the risk.
Ophios poignantly to Ophelia would be looking at Ophelia.
I agree that a meeting should be had between Rena and this man. I also agree that Rena should deliver the message. Gives you an opportunity to look into his eyes and gauge what kind of person he is. It is a good plan. I also think it's important that everybody gets some rest, especially the key players, she says, leveling her eyes on Rena.
Where do you suppose we rest? Based on what I have told you and Vance.
Honestly, this
Outside
place
the
is...
city is
No.
rough.
We get this fallback point. We can always retreat outside the city if need be. If they try to attack us from behind, we shut the gates. Attack us from the front. It's not like they can hit us from all points, right? It's not an open field. We already got the roofs. We'd see them coming. We get some damn good archers. So we're working on it, really, after what happened in Momly.
If you trust and believe that Rena and I will be able to rest, that would be extremely important.
Yeah, go upstairs. You'll be fine. Besides, it's not like Rena's going to get too much rest. She got to go have that conversation. Ophelia cuts in. Yes, she will. We can discuss the details of how to deliver this message afterwards. I don't think everybody needs to be here for that. Fuck, I could use some rest. I'm saying it was a long road.
I would say, Elijah, stick around. For those of you that don't know, you can see a particular person is absent from the room. And a new one has arrived. This is Elijah. He comes from the wall.
Good evening. And he's sitting in kind of behind everyone. So some of them, if they wanted to see him, they would have to turn to look at him. And he's found a place to sit, and he just has a book open that he's been writing down everything you guys have been saying in this book, just keeping tabs and notes about the conversation. And he just kind of waits for you guys to continue, just with pen ready.
Anyway, for those that knew him, Giannis was lost on the journey up to here. And there's a hunter outside the walls, aiming for Rena's head.
Well, sounds like he missed his mark, and he'll pay dearly for it.
Hey, Daelric, would I'm assuming no, but would Elijah know anything about the bounties on Rena and Associates' heads?
The bounties on Rena and Associates' heads. Would you know about them?
Well, yeah, would Elijah know about them?
I would imagine you know Rena's... Rena definitely. You would know, because that's one of the reasons why you were interested in coming to find her, yes.
Okay. So, okay. I will leave it.
Once more
I'll
with
leave it alone.
feeling.
Okay.
But anyway, I thought it should be aware. I have, of course, filled in.
Am I supposed to say nice words here?
Once
We
more with
do not need
feeling.
to speak.
Good.
I merely was addressing the elephant in the room for those that didn't notice the elephant in the room.
Once more
Yeah.
with feeling.
We'll get our revenge. I mean, he wasn't exactly my favorite person, but, he was all right. I'll kill the guy for him. Don't worry. Come on. It's a joke, everybody. Lighten up.
I was more or less just trying to introduce everyone to Elijah. Shut up, Laszlo.
Right. You said it was a hunter. I assume the guy took an arrow. It's a shitty way to go, but there's worse ways.
Anyway, the plan is made. We figured everything out. Let's take time while we have it and rest as we need to. We need to prepare.
It's not a bad idea. You should get some rest, and I think we should be straightforward. with everything we do moving forward. No deceptions, no beguiling. I think it's the best way to earn the trust in this. Yes, of course. Earn the trust. And of course,
I love that that RP between Vance and Ophelia so much at that moment. That's just so poignant of like, there's no deception whatsoever that's happening in this particular situation. Shut up. Kind of talk.
what's funny because there's two other people in the room that don't know. So she's trying to be sneaky, and he's like, "Nah, nah, nah, nah. I know what she's doing." So, anyways, do you choose to have as people kind of like filter out, do you choose to have like a more private conversation with Ophelia, or not, Rina? Or
Yes.
Ophios? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you can tell that she's looking to hang behind, and Vance is intentionally trying to disrupt things. It's like that buddy of yours that knows you're trying to like spend that extra moment with the girl that, you know, you got a crush on in class, and he's also lingering around. He's like, nah. You're like, back up, bro.
You're like, dude.
You get one of your other buddies to run defense on your buddy who's running defense.
Looking over at Ovios like, bro, can you help out here?
I mean, Ophios will probably pull Vance over to Elijah and try and have them have a conversation.
Yay! We'll have the RP in a second. Rena,
Cool.
you go and meet with Ophelia, of course. So you have this
Okay.
this quiet aside, like across the room.
Ophelia, how's everything been going?
Well, it's been going well.
I'm glad to hear it.
I mean, think
Thanks
about it. You've left the city, and so you've gained some favor there while you were gone.
Some favor in Momly
Of
with
course,
the people?
certainly not here.
Well, that's good news then. Well, Ophios mentioned that he spoke to you about the plan
He did.
and said you had some concerns.
Oh, he said that as well, did he?
Anything I can help put you at ease with?
You know this man from your past.
Years ago, but yes.
He's playing on this to get your attention.
I think so.
It's working. I'm not saying that conversation shouldn't be had. It is good to have conversation. It's good to talk, to learn, find yourself into the right positioning. And then if and when the time is needed, you strike hard, and deliver that venom true. However, perhaps you're not the best person for the job. I don't know you. We've only met a week, 2 weeks ago. But I don't like this situation.
That's understandable. But Cadis is the kind of person who chose to fight for Peredhel. I did not. I very much disagree with his decisions, and despite having known him and knowing a bit about who he is, I can't let him continue to fight for Peredhel.
So you're going there trying to rescue him as he's coming here trying to rescue you. Sounds like there'll be a corpse to clean in the morning.
Well, it's happening one way or another.
I'm not going to stop you, but give me an opportunity. Allow me to deliver this message. The likelihood of him being able to see through the guise, it's been, what did you say? 30 years or however long your kind age? Allow me to go and look. allow me to deliver this quick little simple message. Location, time, etc., etc.
Normally I would say yes, but somehow I feel he would know.
Then perhaps the connection between the two of you is a little bit stronger than you think. Or at least you're telling me.
All I know is that he somehow knew where I was when I was completely invisible twice.
I've known a lot of ladies. You walk heavier than most.
She was going to be like, I guess it is a lot of armor. And yeah, the door did kind of open.
Starting to piece things together here. I'm not trying to be insulting, Rena. I'm trying to do my job. I can look into his eyes. I can see if I can glean a thing or two. I won't use magics. I won't foil things. Beyond, of course, disguising myself. I'm not going to go there and try to change his mind using spells.
What if he finds out it's not me?
And what if it's a trap?
All right. If you can set the meeting.
I just want to deliver guidance. I want to meet the man.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Thank you. I have one more concern, if
What?
you don't mind my
that?
bringing it to your attention. Yondis died. It's unfortunate, strategically. It's very unfortunate. But I imagine you're having emotional reaction to this. Makes sense. However, Ophios seems to be having emotional reaction as well. This concerns me for multiple reasons. First and foremost, connections are important. Very strong connections can be distracting. Beyond that, he's never lost anybody before. And he's certainly never cared before. Think about the first time you ever lost somebody you cared about. He's distracted. He's compromised. Perhaps he's not the best person to have as your backup on this. I'm not suggesting myself in that scenario. I would not be the best either. Maybe have him there, maybe don't. But he'll potentially act out of turn, maybe even act too soon, and blow your chances with the diplomacy if he thinks that your life might be in danger.
I understand what you're saying. He won't take that well. You know.
It's not me delivering the word. It's for you to contemplate and discuss with him. I am here to advise, to observe, and to record.
Well, I appreciate it all the same.
Of course. Now, you really should get some rest. No offense, but you look like hell. And I will go and deliver this message. The message that I'm delivering is...
Tell him I'm willing to talk. But it needs to be somewhere neutral. And he needs to be ready to follow up on what he said before.
Somewhere to talk, somewhere neutral. Follow up on what he said before. Do I need to know what that is? Or are you trying to keep that vague from me? I don't mind either way.
You don't need to know.
Very well. I'll do this now. Neutral.
Just him and I, and somewhere kind of in between where we are and they are.
Very well. Get your rest, Rita. Across the room, while that was happening, Ophios had walked up to Vance with Elijah here. And so you kind of walked up, and Ophios allowed you to do the introductions. Because
Vance.
You're so good at that.
Yeah. Vance. This is Elijah. Elijah is the wizard from the wall I was telling you about.
He at first looks over Elijah's shoulder because he sees Rita walking towards Ophelia. Like, oh, I need to... And then you're like, the wizard I was telling you about. And then that obviously catches his attention and pulls it down to look at Elijah. And he's like, oh, Elijah. It's a pleasure to meet you, he says, and takes a step forward and shakes your hand. There's no COVID, so it's safe.
Yeah, I was actually like, my instant reaction was like, oh.
Yeah.
Elijah, this is Vance. Vance is currently the, what'd you say, governor of Momly?
I don't think it was a specific title was given exactly yet. We'll figure those details out later on. But yes, I'm overseeing a lot of the details in Momly at the moment.
Anyway, Vance is aware of the type of stuff you do or did with the wall, perhaps. And
Please, let's not overstate. I understand what the wall is, where it is, why it's there, and generally speaking, the people that work it. You're a mage, aren't you?
Yes.
Then you're called a minstrel, or just kind of a funny name, but the title of somebody that works on the wall.
A Mistral, yes.
Mistral, that's right.
Mistral, yes.
I'm familiar. I grew up in an area near to there. Either way, it's a pleasure. What brings you here? Why are you so far from the wall, and with these folk?
oh, show him the paper, Elijah. Show him that that little order you showed us.
Please.
It was meant for Rena, but I wouldn't mind if you...
Consider myself an
see it.
extension of Rena. I was appointed to my position by Rena, and I do serve Rena. I was even freed from a cell by Rena, he says, holding out his hand.
Elijah will kind of give Ophios like not a dirty look, but like a what are you doing kind of a look, and he'll just take his bag off his shoulder and like search for it, find it, and hand it to him.
Reads the thing. He's very engrossed by reading it. And when he's done, he's a second like quick skim. He looks back up and says, "Is this true? Is the queen looking to lend aid if we prove our worth?"
Yes.
He looks at you, then looks back at looks at Ophios, and he's like, "Ophios, do you understand? Aid from the queen of Amalta?"
If you wouldn't mind, I would like to keep things more observant than effective.
No. I completely understand that you're not exactly looking to offer this now. You're observing, like you said, to inevitably aid us.
I'm worried that if Ophios knew the extent of what I mean, that might affect his actions, thus leading me to a different conclusion.
Allow me to advise Ophios as is my position to do so. He says, handing you back the letter, and turns to Ophios and says, Amalta doesn't really handle, doesn't like underhanded dealings very often. Giving ourselves a degree of legitimacy is actually going to help to garner the faith of the queen. Keeping things underhanded, slitting throats in the dark of night, that's not going to impress the Amaltese military or its leadership. We're going to have, again, a degree of legitimacy to ourselves. We need this meeting to go well. For this meeting to go well, we should please, for the sake of all of the gods in the realms, we need to have this man trust our words. Deception is probably not a good idea. If we say that we're going to go single person, go with only one person. If Rena is going to deliver the message, Rena should be the one to deliver the message.
Ophios, and whose idea do you think this was? I know you question whether there's some sort of underhandness to this, but this
No, no,
was...
no, 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 Ophios. Don't have me don't misunderstand my perception of you two. Rena is a brilliant person in her own way. Certainly has a bit of a leadership knack to her. But for the most part, let's be honest, she clutches a sword well in her grasp and swings it true on the field of battle. Conniving comes from you. I understand that. But the problem is, I feel like you get a little ahead of yourself. Connive a little too deep. Pull yourself out of the trenches just for a moment. I think we can handle this with diplomacy, not with veiled threats.
The diplomacy was my decision, Vance.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, that's the truth. There's no deception rolled to that, in my opinion. But...
Of course, because it was Ophelia that interjected that, and he's making assumptions from there.
If you wouldn't mind, Vance, are you from Peredhel?
I am. Yes and no. Yes.
It's interesting that you would. Oh, please continue.
No, it's these lands are strange. As you know, as an Maltese soldier, Peredhel always is churning its war machine and taking more land under its reign. I was young when my land was taken, same as Rena, and I'm sure from your side of the wall you saw the lands on the other side, walk up to it, taken by the Peredhel. So at one point in time I was Tasian. I am now Perrin.
You seem to be a peace broker amongst this group.
I have my own history. I made my own attempts and I failed. I'm just looking to keep those that I serve now from making the mistakes that I did in the past. So.
And your mistakes were being too aggressive then?
Unfortunately, yes. I pushed myself too far, spread myself too thin.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to talk to you about how you think that peace in general could stop the Peredhel war machine from breaking through its current cycle of conquering and enslaving.
It's not peace that I'm saying. Please don't misunderstand me or think me a fool. I'm saying diplomacy with a select few can have a greater impact. Peace will not be an answer, probably in our generation's lifetime. Peredhel is too big. It's too great. The machine is too powerful. But we can push things towards peace in the future. We may never get the opportunity to live the lives that we want to, but we can lay down the foundation for our children or grandchildren to do so.
When Elijah had said that, Ophios would have had like a slight smile on his face as he looked as Elijah, because in this current moment in time, his entire plan of why he's creating this conversation is working. But Elijah doesn't know that necessarily. He just kind of smiles at Elijah when Elijah asks that question.
What kind of a smile is it? Is it like a...
It's a subtle like smile, like, and a nod.
Okay.
If you knew Ophios well enough, you would know, but I'm saying more than likely you would not pick up on this.
Probably
Wait,
not yet.
you're saying he can't read snake people well?
No, I'm saying the smile isn't it's a genuine smile, so it's not like a conniving smile, in other words.
Okay. Perfect. That's what I wanted to know. Well, Vance, you seem to be wise. You seem to have been very experienced in this endeavor. I may disagree with some of your reasoning, but I understand.
Well, you do walk the path of a soldier. I'm sure. And I don't mean this to be insulting, but you are more keen to draw a blade than I am.
I happen to be a wizard.
And can't then.
It's better.
He looks over your shoulder as that happens because the conversation kind of dropped. And he sees that the two girls have gone separate ways. And he's like, damn.
And
Gentlemen,
Ophios will go ahead and wander off to retire, to sleep.
he says, gentlemen, I'm sure we all need to get some degree of rest. And with that, why don't we take a quick little break? When we come back, we can have these people, maybe they got a long rest. Maybe they got a short rest. You'll find out soon.
I mean, a short rest doesn't do much for me, so.
You're a warlock. It does more for you than most people.